Hello students, in the previous video, we add the integers with the help of number line. Today, we are going to add the integers without the help of number line. So, let us find the sum of the given integers. Exercise 6.2, question number 3. Add without using number line. Students, before solving question number 3, let us learn the rules of addition of integers. Rule number 1. If we want to add two integers and the integers have common sign, that is same sign, that is both the integers are positive or both the integers are negative, then we have to add as a whole number by ignoring the sign, and answer we get with common sign. That is, if two integers are positive, then we get the answer in positive, and if two integers are negative, then we get the answer in negative. Now, rule number 2. If we want to add two integers and the integers have different sign or opposite sign, that is, one integer is positive and one integer is negative, then we have to subtract as a whole number from bigger to smaller, irrespective of side, that is left or right, by ignoring the sign, and answer we get with greater absolute value. Students, absolute value means to remove any negative sign of a number and make the number positive. For example, absolute value of 19 is 19 and minus 9 is 9. So now let us solve question number 3. Sum A. 11 plus minus 7. Students, in this sum there are two integers. One integer is positive and one integer is negative. That is, 11 is positive integer and minus 7 is a negative integer. As the integers have different sign or opposite sign, that is, one integer is positive and one integer is negative. So, we have to subtract as a whole number from bigger to smaller by ignoring the sign, and answer we get with greater absolute value. So now let us subtract 7 as a whole number by ignoring the minus sign from bigger number 11 and place the appropriate sign of the bigger number with the subtraction obtained. Thus, subtracting 7 from 11, we get 4. And students, we get the answer in positive as positive integer. 11 is greater than negative integer minus 7. Thus, 11 plus minus 7 equals to 4. Now, sum B. Minus 13 plus 18. Students, in this sum, there are two integers. One is positive and one is negative. That is, minus 13 is a negative integer and 18 is a positive integer. So, we have to subtract as a whole number from bigger to smaller by ignoring the sign irrespective of side, namely left or right. And answer we get with greater absolute value. So now let us subtract 13 as a whole number from 18 and place appropriate sign of the bigger number with the subtraction obtained. Thus, subtracting 13 from 18, we get 5. Students, we get the answer in positive as positive integer. 18 is greater than negative integer minus 13. Thus, minus 13 plus 18 equals to 5. Now, sum E. Minus 380 plus minus 270. Students, in this sum, both the integers have common sign or same sign. That is, both the integers are negative. As both the integers are negative, so we have to add as a whole number by ignoring the minus sign, and answer we get with common sign, that is minus sign, as both the integers are negative. So now let us add 380 and 270 as a whole number by ignoring the minus sign and place minus sign before the answer obtained. Thus, adding 270 to 380 as a whole number, we get 650. Now, placing minus sign before 650 as both the integers are negative, we get minus 350. Thus, minus 380 plus minus 270 equals to minus 650. Now, question number 4. Find the sum of. Students, we know that when the word sum is given, we have to add. Students, we came to know the rules of addition of integers, that in order to add two integers, and if the integers have common sign or same sign, then we have to add as a whole number and answer we get with common sign. And in order to add two integers, and if the integers have different sign, then we have to subtract as a whole number from bigger to smaller irrespective of size, and answer we get with greater absolute value. So now let us solve question number 4, keeping in mind the rules of addition of integers. Sum A, 137 and minus 354 equals to 137 plus minus 354. Students, let us subtract the integer, as the integers 137 and minus 354 have opposite sign. Thus, subtracting 137 from 354 as a whole number by ignoring this sign and irrespective of side, right or left, we get 217. Now, let us place minus sign before the subtraction obtained, as 354 is greater than 137 and 354 has minus sign. Thus, 137 plus minus 354 equals to minus 217. Now, sum B, minus 52 and 52 equals to minus 52 plus 52. Students, let us subtract 52 from 52, as both the integers have different sign. Thus, subtracting 52 from 52, we get 0. Thus, minus 52 plus 52 equals to 0. Students, note that the sum of an integer and its opposite is always 0. Students, you have to remember that addition of two positive integers always gives a positive sum. Addition of two negative integers always gives a negative sum, and addition of a positive and negative integer give either a positive or negative sum depending on the value of the given numbers. Now, sum C. Minus 312, 39 and 192 equals to minus 312 plus 39 plus 192. Students, in this sum, there are three integers. One is negative integer and two integers are positive. That is, minus 312 is a negative integer, whereas 39 and 192 are positive integers. Students, we can make a group or pair of numbers when there are more than two integers in order to make our calculations simple and fastest. Students, we have to make a pair of two integers. Students, we have to regroup positive integer with positive integer and negative integer with negative integer. Students, note that as we have three integers, that is, number of integers is in odd. So, one integer will be unpaired, that is, it will be not paired. Students, in this sum, there are two positive integers and one is negative integer. So, negative integer will remain unpaired. That is, we don't have to make a pair of negative integer. So now, let us solve sum C by regrouping the positive integer and keeping the negative integer as it is. Keeping minus 312 as it is and regrouping 39 and 192, we get minus 312 plus 39 plus 192. Now, keeping minus 312 as it is and adding 39 and 192, we get minus 312 plus 231. Students, now we get two integers, minus 312 and 231, where minus 312 is negative and 231 is positive. As both integers have opposite sign, so we have to subtract as a whole number from bigger to smaller by ignoring the sign. Thus, subtracting 231 from 312, we get 81. Students, now we have to place minus sign before 81 as 312 is greater number which has minus sign. Thus, minus 312 plus 39 plus 192 equals to minus 81. Now sum B. -50, -200 and 300 equals to -50 plus -200 plus 300. Students, as there are three integers, so let us make a pair of two integers. As we came to know that as there are three integers, one integer will remain unpaired, either positive or negative. So now let us make a pair of two negative integers and write a positive integer as it is. Thus, regrouping -50 plus -200 and keeping 300 as it is, we get -50 plus -200 plus 300. Now, let us add -50 and -200 as both the integers have common sign, that is minus sign, and keep 300 as it is. Thus, adding 50 and 200 as a whole number by ignoring the minus sign and keeping positive integer 300 as it is, we get 250 plus 300. Now, let us place minus sign before 250 as common sign is minus. Thus, placing minus sign before 250, we get minus 250 plus 300. Now, let us subtract 250 from 300 as one integer is positive and one integer is negative. Thus, subtracting 250 from 300 as a whole number, we get 50. Students, positive integer 300 is greater than negative integer 250. So, we get the answer in positive. Thus, -50 plus -200 plus 300 equals to 50. Students, solve question number 3, sum C, D and F by yourself. Thank you and have a nice day.